Hello everyone, and welcome to Third Culture with a K, the podcast that aims to share, exchange, and morph together different parts of culture, religion, and daily life activities. In the last episode, we explored the practice of dancing in both Hindu and Islamic religions. Hinduism regards dancing as a form of puja, a worshipping ritual. On the other hand, certain sects of Islam demonize dancing and look down upon it. This time around, it's an all-women cast. We'll be looking at Kali, the goddess of death and destruction in Hinduism, and Lilith, a sexual demon or Adam's first wife, according to Jewish literature. They both are affiliated with the creation of life and motherhood. Hi everyone, my name is Melissa C. I'm your host, and I could not be more excited to bring forth two amazing characters such as Lilith and Kali. You might know a little bit about Lilith from TV shows such as Supernatural and Lucifer, but no one really tells us where she's from. Well, that's because the first mention of Lilith dates back to 2400 BCE. She's kind of old. The Sumerian king Gilgamesh was actually believed to be the son of one of four Lilith demons. There were Lilu, his parent, Lili, Lilitu, and Irdulili. They were all believed to be vampires or succubus. These demons were to be sexual in nature. Female Lilith demons would copulate with men during their sleep, get pregnant, and make a lot of demon babies. And male Lilith demons would have sex with women during their sleep, get them pregnant, and make them have stillborn babies, babies with deformities, or other health issues. A tablet from 7th century BCE found in northern Syria depicts Lilith, called Lily at the time, as a sphinx with the body of a lion, the breast and the head of a woman, winged, and the tail of a serpent. As we can see, a lot of time has passed, and she has also evolved. However, the fears around Lilith are always the same. They're always affiliated with sex and motherhood. Fast forward to 500 CE, when the Babylonian Talmud was compiled. Now Lilith is suddenly Adam's first wife. How did she get there? Well, the details in the story vary, but here's how it goes. Lilith, like Adam, was created out of dirt, and therefore was his equal. When it came time to have sexual intercourse, she didn't want to be under him. She wanted to be on top, but he refused, wanting her to submit under him in more ways than one. Some versions of this story say that she ran away to the woods. Others say that she went to the Red Sea, a place that was known because it was plagued with demons. Thing is, she didn't want to be Adam's wife anymore, so she started copulating with demons. Adam called God and sent out 3 angels to go get her, but she refused. She said her place on earth was to weaken babies, boys until their 8th day of life, which is when they get circumcised, and girls until their 20th day of life. Lilith, as we can see, has a lot to do with motherhood and child mortality, which was a very real and common spread problem at the time. Incantation bowls from 100 years later, found in Central Eastern Iraq, show us magical texts that were against Lilith, particularly around women's sexual reproduction cycles, from their first menstruation to fertility to childbearing and even menopause. A lot of the incantation bowls that were not only from Jewish communities but different religious communities around Babylonia have divorce contracts against Lilith demons. These incantation bowls were a sort of ritual to get rid of Lilith demons who would inhabit or cohabit houses in which a pair of newly wedded people maybe couldn't have kids or had issues in their marriage regarding sex. Given what we know about Lilith, we can surely tell how sex and marriage were strongly linked together, and how all the fears surrounding sexual reproduction were very much true and real at the time. Unfertile and barren women were shunned upon, and nobody wanted a woman that couldn't give you a perfect lineage. The divorce contract as well are an indication that divorce between the couples was not a viable solution at the time, and therefore any kind of cheating or mistrust between the two was attributed instead to a demon, instead of talking about it, like normal people. Therefore, we can say that Lilith, in the context of motherhood, through the uncanny, represents all the fears around female reproduction cycles, marriage, and pregnancy. To her, we attribute stillborn babies, cheating, problems in our relationship, as well as the inability of creating new life. And on the other hand, we have Kali, the goddess of death and destruction. She was actually given this label by Westerners. Kali is not only the goddess of death and destruction, she is the divine mother, the start and the end. Kali has a very cool origin story. Here's how it goes. After a long war between the gods and the demons, the demon king Mahāvidyās decided to declare himself Lord of Heaven and ruler of the universe. When Vishnu and Shiva heard of this, they were furious. So were Agni, Indra, Brahma, and a lot of other gods. They started shooting beams of light out of their foreheads, and they all converged in one single point. And thus they created their mother, Kali, the mother goddess. As you know, in Hinduism, every god and goddess is only a manifestation of the cosmic energy of the universe. Even you and I are manifestations of this energy. Kali is special because she does not only embody the divine energy, but she is directly associated with motherhood, the creation of life, of the world, of herself out of gods. She is Shakti. She is that divine energy. Mother Kali is particularly worshipped in eastern and southern India. Interestingly enough, these areas present a minority of Muslims who are devoted to their parents. Some prophets even say that mother's law comes before any law, even his. Eastern India also hosts a big population of Tantrism followers. Tantrism in Western society is associated with sexual practices, but Tantrism is actually perfect and utter discipline of the mind and the body. Moreover, in Tantrism, reality in the world are actually just an illusion, something that comes from the vibrations of male and female being together, Shakti and Shiva. Shakti, in this case, is Kali. Tantrism, in fact, is practiced in order to let go of all of our earthly belongings, longings, desires, and fears. The whole point is to realize that Earth is actually an experience, an illusion, and that the real truth comes from the cosmic energy, which we want to reach through liberation. So, what does liberation and the goddess of death and destruction have in common? Looking at Kali's iconography gives us a glimpse into this connection. Her foot on Shiva represents the importance of Shakti over the world and over Shiva. Her arms represent a cycle of life, of creation and destruction. Her 3 eyes represent sun, moon, and fire. Also, past, present, and future. Finally, Kali's black or sometimes blue-colored skin symbolizes her transcendence over all forms. Liberation through Tantrism, therefore, pushes us to be more like Kali, someone at the outskirts of society, someone who finds peace in the bad things of society. Just like a mother would love her son or daughter, no matter who they are, no matter their flaws or virtues. These two characters highlight key features in the religions they're prominent in. Lilith, on one hand, shows us how patriarchal Judaism can be, and Kali highlights the oneness that is characteristic of Hinduism. Nevertheless, they are both mothers, and they show us their motherhood in 2 very different ways, in the presence of it and in the lack of it. In a relationship, they point to the harmony of the sexes, or the tensions between the two. So from Lilith, we can learn how to be assertive, independent, and to make our own decisions. And from Kali, we can learn how to look at the bad things in life with a third eye. This was Third Culture. Thank you for tuning in.